What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into this video, as always, I want to remind you guys that if you're watching or listening to this video and you haven't subscribed to Too Raw for TV, please subscribe to Too Raw for TV. If you haven't hit the notification bell, please hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified of any and every video that drops on my channel. And if you like or at least appreciate the content on my channel, please hit the like button. These are things that help not only my channel, but other channels that you're subscribed to in the LDBC, the Lions Den basketball community, be that much successful. And these are things that will help to counter the algorithm that YouTube now has that suppresses smaller channels. Excuse me. If you also want to, if you can, you want to show love for Too Raw for TV, you can do so via the PayPal or the Cash App if you choose to. And I thank everybody that has donated to my channel. And if you also want to support Too Raw for TV, you can do so on the Patreon. On the Patreon, for only $2 per month, I'm able to talk about stuff I can't talk about on YouTube for obvious reasons. Social issues, politics, totally uncensored, unfiltered. I do take requests. And I'd like to thank everybody that's signed to the Patreon so far. Now, this dude, Mr. $100 million man. Took you to trip me out. He said, the $100 million man comes back and scores 4 points before being ejected. And some people want to know, like, man, why are you so hard on this dude, man? Like, look, man, if Draymond Green was a quiet, unassuming guy who just went out there and played, if he had like the temperament and personality of like a Tim Duncan, I wouldn't really go at him, man. Unless he played especially bad, then I would, make a video about it, like I did with Gordon Hayward. But Gordon Hayward's personality, I mean, he seemed like a nice guy, okay? But Draymond Green, he brought this shit on himself because of his mouth. His mouth and his ego. And I'm going to be honest with you, I personally don't care for him too much. I shouldn't really say that, but I don't. I remember the incident with his alma mater where he got into the tussle with the dude, telling the dude, he bumped into the guy, and the guy said, "Dang, can't you say excuse me?" And he basically brushed him off like, huh, "Man, you should be." I forgot what he fucking said, but he said something like, "You should be thanking me for paying for your classes or some shit like that." I don't give you the right to fucking be rude and bump into people. He's an asshole. But I remember the comments, man. I remember the comments about how if he was on a bad team, he could put up numbers 20 and 10, basically saying like he could do what, Charles Barkley did with Philadelphia, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? I remember all of this shit. Plus, what went down last year was fucked up, okay? You know what I'm saying? There was so many different times, so many different instances where he was getting into it with Kevin Durant, all right? We all know about the infamous incident that supposedly occurred, not supposedly, it did occur, where he called him a bitch, okay? Treated him and verbally talked to him like trash. Well, Kevin Durant should be the top dude on the team. Now, one thing I will say, since Kevin Durant wasn't a homegrown boy, a homegrown kid, Durant has to understand that he's not going to get quite the same love that a Stephen Curry or Klay Thompson got, because he wasn't there from the beginning, from the genesis. But he should have got more respect than what he did, though. I agree with him with that. I remember when him and Draymond, and Kevin Durant got into it about who should have the ball at the end of the game. Draymond, run your ass up there. You're not a fucking closer. And then remember Draymond fucking, I think, lost the fucking ball in his foot. And, I can't remember whether they lost the game or not, but I think they lost the game or something like that. Like this dude, ego, mm-mm. Pay me what I'm worth. Shit, nigga, what you playing? You don't deserve fucking 3 jelly beans and a fucking piece of bazooka. Like, seriously, like, I mean, look, is he a bum? It's all relative. If you're talking about if he's a great role player, then fine, I'll give you that. Even though he's not playing at the same level he did a couple of years ago, he's definitely not playing at the same level he did 2015, 16. But if you're talking about he's a star, a Hall of Famer, listen now. Some of you guys have told me and other people he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, if you want to say that this guy belongs in the same category as Kobe, Mike, Shaq, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. Remember, Reggie Miller wasn't even the first ballot Hall of Famer. And remember, it took Dennis Rodman several years to get into the Hall. His first year of eligibility was what, 2006, I think. He wasn't enshrined until 2012, so he wasn't first ballot. You telling me Draymond Green is first ballot? But the statement that really hits me is when he said that he could carry a team by himself. When he said he could carry a team by himself he could put up big numbers on a bad team. Well, here's your chance. This has been your chance. We've had a series of Final Destination like injuries to your teammates. Yeah, I remember that movie. Motherfuckers had those ridiculous deaths, like deaths was predetermined. Nothing could stop it. Well, these injuries were predetermined and nothing could stop them. Durant with the Achilles, then Klay Thompson with the knee, then Durant's traded. Well, excuse me, Durant leaves free agency. All right. Then Steph Curry gets injured. So you're the lead dog. Okay. If D'Lo's putting up 52 in a game and then 30 and then 40, hey man, you need to be helping out, man. You need to be putting up at least 18 a game. You know what I'm saying? You said that you could put up big numbers on a bad team. Well, you should be averaging 18, 12, and 7 assists. I mean, Nikola Jokic is kind of averaging close to that. Why can't you do that? Because you can't. You can't. And you're being exposed. And that's the main reason why got ejected last night. It was just a ruse. Ain't nobody grown man can tell me not to talk. Man, that's just an excuse, man. Get up out of there. Mentally, you done checked out. Mentally, you checked out of this season, and you're thinking about next year. These are some, I don't know, man. These guys today, man. I heard about Chris Middleton. You know, I don't know, man. These guys just aren't built the same as back in the day, man. I don't know. I just I remember Dominique Wilkins in 95, 96, he was out the NBA. He was overseas. And then he signed with the San Antonio Spurs. And this was right before they drafted Tim Duncan and Dave Robinson was out with their leg injury. And Dominique Wilkins was at the time, I think at the beginning of that season he was 36 and he turned 37 in January. Dominique Wilkins was still beasting, man. This man was still dunking on people and shit, man. I can't remember what the fuck he averaged that year, but I want to say it was like 18, 19. I think at one point he was averaging over 20. Like, that dude was beasting. I think he had like a couple of 30-point games and shit, man. And he wasn't even really playing starter minutes. He wasn't saying, I'm the great Dominique Wilkins, the human highlight film. I'm playing with all these role players. This team is beneath me. No, he went out there and did what he had to do. It was a bad team, you know what I'm saying? But hey, he still put up great numbers. He still, contributed. And that's why Dominique Wilkins, even though he doesn't have a championship, you know, mostly well, in the NBA he doesn't have a championship, is because he played on mediocre teams, or at best a really good team, but never a championship level team. You know, that's why even though you clown him a couple of years, someone know they don't love you like that, Paul Pierce. But I will say this, Paul Pierce, you know what I'm saying, suffered for years playing on bad Boston Celtics teams. He was doing what you claim you can do, put up big numbers on bad teams. At least he was doing that, averaging 25, 26 points per game on bad teams. The truth. He had to have some fucking skill set because Shaq, if I'm not mistaken, nicknamed him that. What are you? If Paul Pierce is the truth, what are you? The myth? That's what you is, nigga, the myth. You're a myth. All of this fucking shit about you being a Hall of Famer, it's all lies. They're all lies, man. You suck. If you comparing him to Hall of Famers, he sucks. If you compare him to role players, he's pretty good. But it's all relative. It's all relative. What he did in college, look, college and NBA are totally two different things. Okay, college is a different animal. Okay, it's a totally different animal. Christian Laettner was the best collegiate player in college at one point in time. In NBA, he was solid. He was solid, but he wasn't anything to write home about. The best thing Christian Laettner ever did was be selected to the Dream Team. And Draymond Green, you know what I'm saying? Now I understand financially why the Warriors are going to play him over Eric Pashaw because they invested $100 million in him. But like Ticket said, and I agree with it, if I was the Warriors, I would play this motherfucker every fucking game and every minute of every fucking game for the rest of the season. The only breaks you're gonna get is fucking calling timeout. Now I know why they're gonna play him because they invested so much money in him. So they're gonna want a payoff on their investment. But basketball wise, Eric Pashaw is playing better than him right now, which isn't that hard to do right now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Draymond Green, the $100 million man, was not worth $100 million. And if I were the Warriors, I would seriously consider, even though I don't know if he'll have any buyers right now, but I would consider trading this guy, man. I would seriously consider trading Draymond Green. I don't think it's going to happen, though, because it's just this myth that this guy's a great facilitator, a great. I don't get it, man. I really don't understand it. And the people that keep bringing up Dennis Rodman, well, Rodman couldn't score. Let me tell you something about Dennis Rodman. I thought I've said this before. If you ever listen to Dennis Rodman, you ever watched him in Southeast Oklahoma State, you ever watch highlights of him, he could score. He wasn't a shooter, but he could score. Dennis Rodman, his career high is 34. So and I think Draymond's career high is what, 35? So it's not like Draymond lighting it up either. That's what kills me with people. Well, Rodman couldn't score. Draymond can't fucking score. I looked at his average. He's averaging 8.5 points. Rodman averaged 5 points. What's the big fucking difference? Rodman came from an era where big men weren't shooting threes. And the year that he averaged 19 rebounds per game, Dennis averaged like a double-double, just about. I think it was 9.8 or 9.9 points, 18.7 rebounds. Okay? So it's not like the only thing that Draymond got over Dennis Rodman offensively is that he's a more consistent 3-point shooter. Okay, but I'm pretty sure in this era, if Dennis Rodman really worked on his threes, he could be a decent one. I don't think he'll be a great 3-point shooter, but he could probably be decent. He probably could be about 30%, 30%. But Dennis Rodman always said he just wasn't interested in scoring. He wasn't that interested in it. You know what I'm saying? And when Dennis got into a rhythm, he actually had a nice jump shot. But a lot of times he wasn't he would throw up air balls because he just didn't shoot the ball. But when he got into a rhythm, the few games he would actually shoot, he had a nice little form with his shot. He had a better form than fucking Backpack Man, than Backpack Jack. And he did lead the NBA in field goal percentage one season. But, on the teams that he played on, Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Mark Aguirre, he didn't really need to score. It was no need for Dennis Rodman to score the basketball. He wasn't playing with just shooters. He was playing around guys that could shoot and score. And or score. Then with the Bulls, we had Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, Steve Kerr on the bench, Judd Bushler. We had all these guys that could score and or shoot. Dennis didn't need to shoot. The thing about it, the reason why Dennis is in the Hall of Fame, he's the GOAT rebounder. He's one of the GOAT defensive players. In his prime, he could guard literally all 5 positions on the floor. When he was the Bulls, he could probably guard 3 positions. He lost a little bit of his quickness and lateral ability, by that time. You know what I'm saying? But damn, he was 35, 36 years old. All right? He was one of the smartest fucking players I've ever seen in my life. And even though he didn't highlight it a lot, he was a very good passer. And he was a great outlet passer when that was starting to die out in the NBA. Not to mention the 5 championships, the 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, legitimate Defensive Player of the Year awards, when there was a lot of competition out there defensively. You know what I'm saying? We had the league full of great defensive players. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen was starting to emerge. You had David Robinson, Akeem Olajuwon, Alvin Robinson, Joe Dumars, Gerald Wilkins, Gary Payton. The list goes on as far as great defensive players in the NBA at that time. So nah, man. He's not in Dennis Rodman league, and he damn sure not a first ballot Hall of Famer.